The people of the motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom Chapter 16. Although I still want to discuss acting with the supervillain Mysterio, the Marvel dream world in which I am is suddenly shattered. Meng slowly opened her eyes and woke up from her bed in the real-world isolation room. Before he took out the mobile phone in his pocket, Meng knew the time, and it was 6 o'clock in the evening. This feeling is. Meng closed his eyes, his consciousness was like an electrostatic pulse, and finally broke the bottleneck of that obstruction, and burst out of the brain that had been imprisoned. Silent, imperceptible, a wisp of virtual static electricity turned into consciousness was linked to the mobile phone in his pocket, which is why he learned the time. Intrusion control of nearby electronic devices, one of the characteristics of artificial intelligence. Try the distance. Meng remained silent on the surface, continued to lie back on the bed, and his consciousness spread outward from himself, like an invisible ray of red virtual lightning, which did not enter the corner camera of the isolated room. Real-time feedback images of the camera, i.e. the built-in panorama of the isolated room and yourself in bed, come to mind. Meng flowed consciousness and continued to probe out. The next moment, his consciousness extended to the outdoor camera and saw a group of supernatural department agents guarding outside. 0019 The people of the motherland descend to reality. Consciousness is like an electrostatic flow. Eamon's delicate bond with the surveillance camera outside the isolation room is established, and at this moment, the brain clearly shows the audio image captured by the surveillance camera outside. It's like opening a small perspective of God. Meng felt so strange that he actually saw a group of agents lying on the bed through a one-way viewing glass window outside the isolation room. This feeling is completely different from looking in the mirror or watching a selfie video. What puzzled Meng was what were these agents who claimed to be in the department of the Paranormal Foundation doing? Without even targeted interrogation and medical examination, did you guard him and let him stay in the isolation room for 12 hours? Then, the discussion between the two agents outside caught Meng's attention. The young female detective was full of curiosity, and couldn't help but gently push the young male detective, senior brother. You talk to me again. About the two guardian saints of the eastern and western jurisdictions, the Dragon Girl and the Motherland. Quote. The young male agent spread his hands and said helplessly, it's not that I don't want to talk to you. We don't know very well about those two. Quote. At this moment, Meng's brain shut down, and he mistakenly thought that he had heard it wrong. Are you kidding? Motherlanders? Are they talking about Motherlandmen? Seriously? Lying in the isolation room, Meng's heart was shocked, as if he was struck by a thunderbolt on a sunny day, and he seemed to have witnessed the truth of the world. And his thinking was disordered and rapidly spread at this moment. Is the Motherland person circulating in the real world the Motherland man he knows? The black-robed picket from the previous live film and television drama, the ability is equivalent to a weakened version of Superman. There is no biological force field in the setting. But there is no kryptonite weakness. The superhero, supervillain, Motherland wearing the American Empire flag. Meng was a little skeptical of life, but he didn't expect to hear the name of this character who had appeared in film and television works in his previous life in the real world of Rebirth. Wait a minute, Meng suddenly remembered something. Before, he had guessed. The mythical fable that has been circulating in the Star Dragon Federation for 200 years, that is, a meteor falls into the west, a dragon soars in the east. And the meteors and dragons that appear in the mythological fables may all originate from the invasion of the film and television heavens in the previous life. If that meteor is actually a man-made flying machine, Meng had a flash of light. If this is the case, then the previous conjectures are all connected. Therefore, the unified establishment of the Star Dragon Federation ushered in a technological explosion in 200 years. And rapidly developed into a scientific and technological level similar to the 21st century of the previous Earth star. Of course, this also means that this reality in which he lives, is it a world ruled by villains? Meng stopped the horror in his heart, remained calm with the characteristics of artificial intelligence, and continued to listen to the discussion outside. When they heard the agents call Motherlandmen, the guardian saints of the Western jurisdiction. The agents of the so-called supernatural department who secretly defended the invasion of the outside world all showed a look of bewilderment and awe from their hearts. Meng felt that the real world where he was reborn was probably helpless. If the Motherland people exist in this world, they are really the film and television characters he recognizes. Probably, no one in this world knows the Motherland better than Meng. After all, Meng has watched 2 seasons of the Black Robe Picket episode. Truly. Even if the people of the Motherland appear in the world of black-robed pickets or in the eyes of the public, they are also a great and honest saint. And they have become the first hero in the world with their divine ability to fight crime. But everyone who has watched the play should know. That is just the other party's disguise and performance for their own fame and reputation. The real character and means are simply more villains than the villain. Killing people and setting fire to vent their selfish desires in the dark without seeing the light, and is the final boss in the world of black-robed pickets. In order to obtain the supreme reputation faster, the people of the motherland cannot do without themselves, but they can secretly create monsters and villains themselves. Meng suddenly felt extremely unoptimistic about the future prospects of the real world. Let the other party act as a patron saint to suppress the invasion of the outside world. I'm afraid that the people of the motherland would like to have more horrors of invasion, and it is better to have an apocalyptic crisis break out in the whole world. And then save the world yourself and become a god. Meng was very confused, and sighed secretly. But now instead of worrying about this, it is better to think about how to deal with the current isolation situation. He had already heard the outside agents discuss the patron saint of the Eastern jurisdiction. Dragon Girl? Although I don't know what kind of film and television invasion exists, there is no doubt that to be on a par with the people of the motherland, the other party must have powerful, extraordinary abilities. Otherwise, I am afraid that it would have been secretly destroyed by the motherland. No one can hide from the Dragon Girl. Not even the presence of an invasion. Meng heard the evaluation and cognition of the Dragon Girl by the outside agent, and her heart suddenly froze. If so, when the guardian goddess Dragon Girl descends here, won't the secrets of her body be exposed? Reincarnations from the otherworld, unique abilities to acquire traits from dreams. These once exposed, how will the world see him and how will the supernatural department deal with him? Treat him as a native, or as an invasion alien, imprisoned, researched, or taken into use. Either way, Meng resisted from the bottom of his heart, so wouldn't the next fate be controlled by others? Moreover, Meng can guarantee that once the people of the motherland know the secret that their brains hold, I am afraid that they will kill him across half the planet at the first time. Still that sentence, no one understands the motherland better than him. He knows too many secrets. No, I definitely can't let that Dragon Girl find out the secret of me. Meng's heart was anxious, but his handsome face was still calm. He was lying on the bed in the isolation room, his brain was like a host, his temples were slightly hot, and his thoughts were constantly stirring. Although Meng consciousness can now connect to external monitors, it is only a subtle connection with the electronic products around it. And it cannot invade the system like artificial intelligence, otherwise it can directly tamper with the system program of the supernatural department. Forcibly escaped, Meng does not think that relying on the sword incarnation characteristics on his body, he can compete with the detective who has a gun outside. And if he really does that, he will not confirm his identity as an intruder, and then he will face the global wanted of the Star Dragon Federation. If you can't escape, then you can only think about how to deal with the containment test of the upcoming Dragon Girl. Meng once again connected that subtle consciousness with the external monitor. He needs to know more about the Dragon Girl, and it is best to be able to guess where the other party is divine. Even if you can't guess the specific identity, it's good to know the other party's ability and means. 0020 The first battle in the real world. You don't understand either? The young female detective was puzzled. You joined the supernatural department 2 years before me. And the guardian saint of the western jurisdiction is also a person. The guardian goddess of our eastern precinct Dragon Girl, before this, should have come here to test other interns, right? Quote. The young male agent smiled wryly. That one has indeed been here, more than once. He paused, and his eyes showed awe. However, no one, including our inspector, knows his true face. Why? The young female detective felt that her mind was a little overwhelmed. First chapter